There's a reason this message appeared in front of you today. You did not find this video by accident. Messages have a way of reaching people exactly when they are ready to hear them. And if you're hearing these words right now, there may be something important meant specifically for you. This message may have been published hours or even days ago, but now is the moment it was meant to reach you. So listen closely to what comes next. Something about your situation with money, stability, or direction has been weighing on you more than you've been willing to admit. You've been trying to stay composed, telling yourself it will work out, telling yourself to be patient, but beneath that calm surface, there's been a quiet pressure building. Not panic, but a constant awareness that something needs to change. And you haven't fully said this out loud. You've kept it internal. Because even you don't fully understand why things feel this uncertain. You've been doing what you're supposed to do, working, trying, adjusting, but the results haven't matched the effort the way you expected. And that gap between what you're giving and what you're receiving has started to affect you more deeply than you show. Pause for a moment. Think about how often your mind has been returning to the same thoughts. The same concerns about stability, about progress, about whether you're moving in the right direction. You've been holding this in quietly, trying not to let it control your mood, trying to stay grounded even when things feel unclear. But listen carefully, this is not just stress. This is awareness of a shift that is already in motion. This matters. You're starting to realize that the way things have been cannot continue the same way. Not because you've failed, but because you've outgrown a certain level. And that realization can feel uncomfortable because it creates tension between where you are and where you know you should be. You may notice that your tolerance for certain situations has changed. Work that once felt manageable now feels draining. Efforts that once felt meaningful now feel repetitive. And instead of clarity, it has created frustration because you don't yet see the alternative clearly. You may have even questioned yourself, wondering if you're expecting too much, wondering if you should just accept things as they are. But pause for a moment. That thought itself is part of what has been limiting you. Because what you're feeling is not dissatisfaction without reason. It is recognition that something needs to shift. This is where things begin to change. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but internally first. And this is where Archangel Michael steps in, not to immediately change your external situation, but to clear what has been blocking your progress in ways you couldn't see before. You may not have realized it, but there have been patterns around you that were quietly restricting your growth. It could be environments that kept you thinking small. It could be people whose expectations limited your vision. It could even be habits or beliefs that once helped you survive, but are now holding you back from moving forward. And the reason this feels uncomfortable now is because those patterns are starting to break. You're being pushed, not by force, but by awareness to move beyond what has been familiar. And that movement requires a shift in how you see yourself. As it is written, and God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 8. This is not about sudden wealth appearing overnight. This is about alignment, where what you do, what you believe, and what you receive begin to match in a way they haven't before. You have been operating at a level that no longer fits who you are becoming. And because of that, things have felt restricted. Not because you're meant to struggle, but because you're being redirected. You may notice that certain opportunities no longer feel right, even if they seem logical. You may notice that your interest is shifting towards something different, even if it feels uncertain. You may feel a sense of restlessness, like staying where you are is no longer an option, but moving forward is not yet fully clear. And that space in between what was and what will be can feel uncomfortable. But listen carefully, that discomfort is not a sign to go backward. It is a sign that you are being prepared for something more aligned. This is the turning point. This is where the financial shift begins, not as a sudden external change, but as an internal decision to no longer settle for what you know is limiting you. Archangel Michael is not just protecting you from loss. He is guiding you toward alignment. You have been gradually shown what no longer works. You have been slowly made aware of what needs to change. You have been positioned to see opportunities differently. And now, you're at a point where you can begin to move with that awareness. You don't need to rush. You don't need to force outcomes. You don't need to have everything figured out right now. Sometimes, the most important shift is not what you do, but how you see yourself. Because once that changes, your decisions begin to change naturally. You may start to take different risks, calmer, more intentional ones. You may start to say no to things that once felt necessary. You may start to recognize opportunities that you would have overlooked before. And those small changes will lead to larger shifts over time. As it is written, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. Proverbs 21 verse 5. This is not about sudden change. This is about consistent alignment. This is about moving with awareness instead of pressure. And that is where your stability will begin to grow. So if you've been feeling this pressure, this quiet awareness that something needs to change, understand this. It is not there to stress you. It is there to guide you. You're not stuck. You're being repositioned. And that repositioning may feel uncertain now, but it is leading you towards something that fits who you are becoming, not who you were. If this message feels like it's describing exactly what you've been going through, you don't need to explain it to anyone else. You can simply acknowledge it in your own way. Even writing 444 as a quiet confirmation to yourself that you are ready for this shift, even if you don't fully see it yet. Stay grounded, stay aware, and trust that what feels uncertain right now is part of something that is beginning to align in your favor.